I can't think of a better place to talk about flowering crab apples on Backyard Farmer than in my own backyard. My wife and I moved into our home here in 1994, and we loved the house, but it was a very small yard, and we were trying to do something to give ourselves a little more privacy and a better look from outside of our breakfast nook and from our deck than we had. And this is our neighbor's house over here, and the solution that we came to was to plant some Adams flowering crabs. They're in wonderful bloom now, as you can see, but they're good. It's a wonderful tree for so many reasons. If you look closely, you can see that last year's berries are still present on the tree. They're just falling off now, and birds have been eating them throughout the winter. So they're not mushy as they fall, and they add beauty during the winter. The tree has an exquisite form. If you look inside, you can see that the branching, it has a wonderful twisted habit to it. And one of the wonderful things about the crabapple is that it's fairly dense in branching even in the winter. So even in the winter time, from our breakfast room, we still have a pretty good block of that home over there. And you can scarcely see their deck over here. We have uplighting that comes in, and while you don't want to limit crabapple too much up, we can take it up just enough that we're able to actually have a walking path that goes beneath them. This is another one of our favorite crabs, a white flowering crab. It's called Sugar Time. Opens with a pink bud to a beautiful white flower. As you see, it's kind of transitioning now from that pink to white stage. It has, again, wonderful fruit, bright red, that hangs on well into spring. It's still on here now, it's just falling. This tree is particularly disease resistant. It does a wonderful job. The leaves stay beautifully all through the season, as in fact do most new crab apples that are sold today. No discussion of flowering crab apples is complete without a discussion of some of the more novel forms. Here we have candied apple, which is a wonderful weeping crab. As you see, the form is such that the branches are pendulant coming down, and these will continue to weep, though they can be pruned up as you please. A very interesting form as it ages. And one of the newer types of crabs are globes. Here we have coral burst, which, as you see, has a very bright pink flower and a very interesting globe shape. And this one gets about 10 to 12 feet wide. Shorter yet, blooming white, is lollipop, which is more in the 8 to 10 foot range as a globe. Very clean green foliage, stays beautifully green all season, beautifully disease resistant. A particularly interesting plant for a somewhat formal garden. Crab apples are trees for all seasons. They are as tough as our Nebraska winters, and they offer us 4 seasons of wonderful beauty. They give us privacy, they give us beauty, they give us ornamental interest. They are truly a wonderful tree for the Great Plains.